to Knitter's Life, episode 7. My name is Shannon, and yeah, you can find me as Whiskey and Wool on pretty much everywhere coming to you today from northern New Jersey, where I work and live. And it is April 3rd, so finally spring has sprung. I have lots of lovely footage for you of our spring weather, which you already saw some. I'm drinking a cup of matcha, which is a new found love of mine. I like to have matcha in the afternoon after I've had coffee in the morning. So it'll be my post-lunch. It's my post-lunch. Really, really love it. I put a little milk in it and a little sugar and a drop of vanilla extract. It's really good. It's kind of like a latte-ish, but it's not the heavy milk that comes with a latte. So just a little bit of milk, a little bit of sugar, and a drop of vanilla extract. Yeah. So how are you? How are you holding up? Have you been vaccinated yet? I'm getting my first vaccination on Monday, so I'll be fully ready for Mother's Day, I guess. Yeah, it's I think I read that New Jersey is up to about 19% of the population, of the adult population, has been vaccinated at this point. So they're hoping to increase that rapidly over the next couple months to get everyone vaccinated. Anyway, you didn't come here for vaccine chatter, but I was just asking how you were doing, and it just was kind of a natural thing to talk about, because if you're like me, you're stuck home, not able to do too much because of the pandemic, but I can knit and I can spin, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I am wearing the Nell, or I think it's just called Nell sweater by Erie. She has a longer name. I think Erie's just her first name, but I'll put the info on screen and also more details down in the description box if you want to know about it, more about this sweater. I made this sweater last year. I can't remember when I finished it. Sometime in the summer, I think. I know it was too hot to wear by the time I finished it, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. I'm going to send you forward to the Whiskey Chat, and I'm saying forward because I haven't filmed the Whiskey Chat yet. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about, but that's coming up. If you want to skip the Whiskey Chat and jump right into the wool, I will tell you where to skip to. And otherwise, thank you for being here and going through, checking in with me. I really love chatting with you and hearing your thoughts on what I'm sharing and what you're up to in the comments below. So I'll see you after the Whiskey Chat. Hi, I'm going to do a little Whiskey Chat for you. Today I am tasting this one right here. This is, oh my goodness, there we go. Whiskey Works Glaswegian, which is a word for a Glasgow resident. It's a 29-year, 54%. That's what it looks like. My tasting dram. It's very pale. Okay. This whiskey is from a very tiny company, an experimental whiskey company called Whiskey Works. They put out small bottlings of whiskey, unique bottlings and such. This particular Glaswegian 29-year is it retails actually for a pretty good price, but it is very rare. They only made about 1,600 bottles of it. It is from a distillery that is in the Glasgow was in Glasgow, actually, I think 1 mile from the center of town. Like, really, it was in the heart of the town, the heart of that city, and it's gone silent. It went silent in 2010, so over a decade ago. It had, what I was able to find out about it, actually, I will read to you. It was called Port Dundas Distillery. It was once one of the largest in Scotland, producing 39 million liters of spirit annually. It had been established in 1811 and began producing its first whiskeys in that year, 1811, they started to produce. There were it went through a couple mergers and things. There were 2 fires in 1903 and 1916. Production halted during World War II era, which it was common in a lot of distilleries. People had to go fight the war, right? And then they resumed with a more modernized facility from World War II through its final closure in 2010. Johnny Walker had been made there. J&B had been made there, among other blended whiskeys, towards the end of its time. It is considered a lowland distillery. Many lowland distilleries have gone silent. No information about what that facility looks like, but apparently there are still barrels of it around, and little companies like Whiskey Works their blending master is able to pull together some really cool and unique bottlings, which is what we have here. So 29 years, and I was able to find that it has been aged in American oak casks. So that would bring in some of the sweet, buttery flavors that you get from those American oaks. So let's see. Okay, in the glass with a couple drops of water. You can really smell that extra alcohol. It's just about 10 percentage points more than what's average, I would say. But still within the range of normal. Really get some of that sweet butter cookie smell. There's something I can't put my finger on. Toffee, maybe? A little slight burnt sugar taste or smell, but also wood. There's a woody smell, and I was expecting some citrusy smells, but I wonder if it's aged beyond that. I don't know if that's even a thing. Okay, let me taste it. Wow. Ooh, wow. Wow, it's strong taste, really strong taste. Vanilla sugar cookie, so buttery taste, buttery taste. Wood, a lot of wood. There's some spice in there, but I don't know what it is. And there's something in the background that I'm struggling to put my finger on. Let's see what it says. Oh, butterscotch, vanilla, exotic fruit flavors. Smoke. Oh no, no smoke, sorry. Apple, mango, dates, and dried fruit. Okay, so maybe mango? It really has overwhelming sweetness. Sweet butterscotch, dried fruit. Oh, this bottle, Whiskey Works bottled this in 2019. It retails for about $150, $60, which isn't bad for us, a rare bottling. It's really well balanced too. I really do like it. It's very enjoyable. Is there anything else I could tell you? I think that might be it. There's less to say when there's nothing to say about a distillery necessarily. That little bit that I did find out, I was really pleased to find out. It took a lot of clicking around, but I was able to find that out for you. Anyway, I just want to say I hope you get a chance to try a wee dram of your own at some point if you are so inclined. Cheers. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you have a nice beverage of your choice and a little knitting. We'll get into the wool now. Okay, I have a finished object, which I'm going to show you before I talk about what Martha's wearing, because what Martha's wearing is pretty exciting. Yeah, I'll arrange the camera so you can see better. But yeah, my FO is the love note. A little baby love note. And now that I thought I was making the 6-month size, but now that I have finished, I really think it's more the year size. Has anyone else made this for, I know people have made it, but have any of you made this for little kids, for babies or toddlers? Because as I was working it, I was thinking that open, all those holes may not be so wise for a baby whose little fingers might get stuck in them when she's trying to put it on. Yeah, because they came out really big. Before I get into that, or get too deep into that, looking at that, the yarn is beautiful Lobby and Aimée. I bought it last year it's her Merino DK, and it is the colorway Howl and Sophie. It's out of the superwash. Well, trust me, 100% superwash merino. Howl and Sophie, based on the Miyazaki, I hope I'm saying that right, film Howl's Moving Castle. It's really a lovely cream base with rainbow speckles, these bright rainbow speckles like neon pink and neon yellow, neon green. It's really, really cute. Yeah, I think it's perfect for a little kid. And so I made size 1, and I still have some yarn left, so you could probably, it's pretty much a 1 skein project, probably up to size 3 or so will be my guess. But yeah, I think Julie will be able to wear this this coming fall, and maybe even fall 2022, because it's pretty big, and you can roll the sleeves and such, and it can also be a little short on her when she gets older. It could be like a crop sweater over that her mom can pop over her dress or something. Yeah. So I'm going to give that to her later in the month when I see them. Yeah, so Martha, what are you wearing, Martha? Let me turn the camera a little bit so you can see her better. There you go. So yeah, I finished. This is still a whip, of course. Here here's as long as it is for the body, but I finished the colorwork yoke, and it felt like such an accomplishment. This is the Watermelon sweater by Kirsten Olsen. I'm looking around for the book because the book is over on the bed. Yeah, so it's from a book called Bohus Stickning, which I talked about. It's the only place you can find the pattern, is in the book. They don't have it on, it's linked on Ravelry, but the pattern is not there. So you have to buy the book. The book, I can't remember what it cost, but it was like, it's a paperback pattern book, so maybe $30 or so, not expensive. It has about 20 sweaters in it, and yeah. It is, I have knit this mostly out of little Grey Sheep, or the Grey Sheep mini skeins in their Stein Wool Fine Wool. I have a bunch of, here, I'll grab it. In case you're new here, I have a bunch of minis from, that are all non-superwash wool. Most of these are from the Grey Sheep company. They sell mini sets where you can get like 5 or 6 colors in a mini set. So I bought a couple mini sets. I bought one at EYF, and then I bought a couple more since I've been home. So EYF 2019. And when I was doing this sweater, I bought a couple more that had some of the colors that I thought might be good, because this has about 12 colors in it. It is a really intense color work yoke where you are doing something different every single row. There is a ton of purl stitches. Almost every row has purl stitches in it, which is, you know, something that you don't often see incorporated into color work rows, when you don't really see that too often. But it made it a little bit more of an advanced color work pattern to knit, because when you're doing 3 colors or 4 colors, there's a couple rows that are 4 colors, but most of the rows are either 2 or 3 colors. When you're trying to carry yarn along that you're not, the color you're not working, and you have to do a purl stitch, it's kind of hard to, I don't know how the knitters that knit these sweaters and got paid for knitting them, I don't know how they did the techniques of crisscrossing the color, making floats. Maybe they just let there be long floats. I don't know. I'm really drinking my tea a lot. I hope that doesn't bother you. Yeah, so I'm thrilled it's over. I did do a couple modifications, probably from here, from this yellow. I don't know if you're seeing those yellow stitches right there. Down, I cut out about 12 rows. Because if I had kept going, the yoke was going to be too long for the size I needed. So the arm hole, this length is the length from the beginning to where the yoke ended, is about the length that I need a yoke, top-down yoke sweater to be. So yeah, that is, that's why I cut those rows out. So I just kind of did I mashed together rows rather than just stopping at a certain point, because I really liked some of the details that were in there. Yeah, so that's about the size of it. Also, this Little Grey Sheep Stein Wool Fine Wool fingering weight yarn is a little bit heavier weight than the yarn that this sweater was intended for. So if you knit with the yarn it's intended, I think they sell them as kits. If you look on Ravelry, you'll see some info about the kits. I think you can still get the kits. People have the kits and stash them, so you might be able to get one from someone who stashed one if they don't still make them. But it is intended to be much smaller, so it would have been more compact than what I've knit here. But yeah, I'm really glad it's done. And now I'm just knitting the body, and I am knitting the body in mohair. I'm holding 2 strands of mohair together. I decided to do a cream color. The pattern is written for the body color to be a deep dark green, like a moss deep dark green, like pine forest green or something like that, and a wool, not a mohair. They use a oh, I want to say it's an Angora blend. So it's got some sort of fuzziness to it, but it's a very thin, not quite lace weight, but not as heavy as regular fingering. So light fingering, I guess. Anyway, I am holding 2 strands together of mohair for the body that I'm doing, and my mohair is, do I have it? Yes, I have the ball band. It is Ito Sensei. I like the Ito Sensei because it's a 60-40 blend instead of the usual 70-20 no, 79-21 silk mohair. So it's a little bit softer because it has a higher silk content. Yeah, so now I'm just knitting round and round and round. I am undecided about whether I want to do a rib bottom. Like the pattern calls for a 4-inch rib bottom. And the sweater would be probably like, it would be shorter than this t-shirt is. So with the t-shirt, the waist is right here and the hip bone would be about here. I think it would end right at that hip bone, like right if you went ahead and followed the directions of the pattern, because it doesn't have you knit for very long before you do the ribbing. I don't think I'm going to do a 4-inch rib bottom. I may do 2 inches or less. Like maybe, I was even thinking maybe just doing a 1/2 inch, something so that it doesn't curl, but so that it could still be kind of loose and flowy, instead of it like shrinking in. And yeah, and then I'll do the sleeves. I did also kind of wing it on the short rows. I don't know if you care about that, if that's even necessary to talk about, but I didn't read the pattern very thoroughly, but they did have short rows built in that you do after the yoke. So, sorry, you can't really see. So you can see that the back is a little bit longer, but what should happen when it's on me is that that should go up and allow for more, probably after it's blocked too, it'll just block out better. Allow for a little bit higher neck. There we go. That's probably more accurate there. So yeah, I winged it on the short rows. I just did what, I've made so many top-down sweaters. I just did what seemed right, and then I read the pattern and saw that they did build in short rows. I didn't think they had short rows in it at all. But I knew that I wanted some because it bugs me when sweaters dip down in the back on your neck. So yeah. So yay! I'm in the mindless knitting, except that it's not that mindless, because it is mindless, but you do have to pay attention because it is 2 strands of mohair, and mohair is mohair silk, and it is slippery, that mohair silk. Just back from the hairdresser, and he gave me a little bit of a side part, which I'm not used to. Okay, so if you're a returning viewer, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm happy you're here, but you're probably so tired of hearing about this 1/2 and 1/2 triangle wrap from Purl Soho. And I'm sorry to say that it will be several more episodes before I'm done, because I find knitting this kind of a snooze. So the way I get a lot done on it is to watch something that I'm completely engrossed in, because this is mindless knitting. I can just knit without looking at my hands, except when I have to do the turnaround. So yeah, so I did get a lot done though. So I have been watching things that I've been really engrossed in. When you last saw it, I'm showing you the back. Let me show you the front. I had done 1/2 of the 1/2 and 1/2 triangle wrap. So I've added, so I went from here to here. It's hard to show. Yeah. All right, maybe I'll just put some footage in so you could see. I'll film a little footage right after this. But yeah, I'm just about done with the pink. So the way I'm doing this color block version, if you're new here, you haven't heard about this before. I'm doing a color block version of the half and half triangle wrap. And the way I'm doing it is that I'm matching the colors up. So the yellow matched itself in the second half, but the pink is matching up with the speckle gray. And then I have a brighter yellow that is matching up with the black, and then finally it'll end with a bright blue at the bottom, which will match with the second skein, or really the first skein of the black and white speckle. Yeah, so it is totally mindless, but it's going to be massive. I do want to get this done before it gets too hot out, though, like before we really get into our summer weather, because having this much fabric on my lap when it's warm out, like even though we have air conditioner in the house, we keep it on a pretty high temperature, so it's pretty warm in the house. Like it's warm enough to wear shorts and you don't need a blanket or anything on you if you're just going to be chilling out and, you know, watching a movie or something. So I don't really want this sitting on my lap, and if I go outside and sit on the porch or out back in the pool house, I don't want a heavy blanket on me at all. I just won't knit it if that's the case. Like I won't knit on it. And I don't want to stop. I want to just get it done. The yarn is by Loop Fiber Studio. It is her Yin-yang fingering weight line. There you go. The black one is called Yin. The whiter, the speckle one is the colorway Yang. I'll have all the details on the yarn down below, so I don't have to sit here and recite it to you. I do have a picture of what the finished one is supposed to look like as well, so you can see where I was talking about. So I'm about right here, which according to the sketch that looks like I'm more than halfway, but I can tell you it is not halfway. It might be halfway across the triangle, but each one of these is a full skein. So that's a full skein of yin yang, that's a full skein, that's a full skein. And on this side it's the same. Full skein, full skein, full skein. This was not a full skein. I still have a chunk left. I have about 20 grams left of it. This is the colorway Shine. So yeah, I'll use that for something else. My assumption is that everything should work out because I'm using full skeins. So the colors should all match. Hopefully I won't be short. I don't mind having a little bit extra, but I don't want to be short. Yeah, so that is the half and half triangle wrap by Purl Soho. It's a free pattern on Purl Soho's site. It is written for you to do each half of the triangle, 2 different colors. So it's a 2-color shawl. I guess you could do 1 color if you wanted, and you can do multicolor too, the way I'm doing it if you wanted too. You could do stripes and make them miter and match. That would be cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways you could, you could make a scrappy one. That might be interesting. It is a fingering weight yarn. It's knit on size 3 needles. If you watch Stacy of Stress Knits, she has knit one. No, she finished hers. She's got 2 more planned. She knit on hers I think on a size 5, a US size 5, or 3.75 millimeter instead of the 3. And I wish I did the same because it would have been faster. It would have been faster knitting. This is a nice fabric though. This makes a nice fabric. It makes the size 3, US size 3, or 3.25 millimeter, makes a really tight fabric. So that's nice about it. It's going to be very dense and warm. It's going to be a lovely warm shawl. I am knitting it along with Caddy Jack's Knits and many other people who are knitting it along with them for Rhinebeck 2021. Whether we have a virtual Rhinebeck or an in-person Rhinebeck, it'll be fun. There are many other YouTubers who are also knitting this shawl. I haven't seen anybody doing anything wildly different like me in terms of the color placement, but I did that because I wanted to use up my stash. That is going to be like, if I was titling this episode, I don't title the Knitter's Lives other than just saying next, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would totally call this how to, using up your stash. Watch me use up my stash. Because what I've learned about myself this past couple weeks, I knew this, but I didn't really think about it in terms of this. But for me, using my stash and matching the stash with the pattern becomes like a really fun problem to solve for me. So I really enjoy twisting and turning my stash in my head and thinking about like, how can I make my stash fit this pattern without having to buy more. And like for the half and half wrap, I had all that yarn on hand. I was planning to, aside from the very bright yellow, which I did buy for this project, all the other colors I had, the brightest yellow, the one that's not in the shawl, the next one I'll knit. I had all the other yarns because I first bought a couple skeins of the yin-yang when it came out because I was interested in playing around with it and seeing what I could make it do. And I just picked up a bunch of random skeins. And then the next time I saw Stephanie from Loop Fiber was at Vogue. And so I'd seen her at Rhinebeck. I'd seen her at a Vogue. I'd seen her at a Rhinebeck. Then I saw her at another Vogue. So I saw her at Vogue 2020. And I had a pattern in mind. No, I saw her at Rhinebeck 2019. And I had a pattern in mind that of my own design and bought a bunch with this idea in mind, and ended up swatching and figuring out that the black and white weren't high contrast enough for the design I really needed a black and a white, not those marled yarns like her yarns are. So it wasn't the yarn's fault, it just wasn't a good match design wise. So I had all of those on hand. And I was like, what am I going to do with these things? I'll do something with them. Maybe I'll make a striped sweater or something. So yeah, then that came along, and I didn't want to buy 6 skeins at almost $20 each. I thought, I've got to have yarn that I can make out of, this fingering weight yarn. I have so much fingering weight yarn. This is just my single skeins here. I have sweater quantities in this drawer right here, in these drawers, in this dresser that my stuff is sitting on over here. So I was like, I gotta have something I can make this. So yeah, that's what happened. Probably I would have ended up with like a solid and a speckle on either side or something if I had, or I didn't think about like doing a color blocked shawl this way. So I don't know. It's a fun experiment. I think I'll like the product. Even though I don't enjoy knitting it so much, I think I'll like the product. Yeah. Okay. I've also been knitting quite a lot on my cashmere, 100% cashmere Rye Layering Tee. I think last time I had just passed the splitting off for the armhole, and now I have knit quite a lot of the body. I still have about 4 inches to go. To give you an idea, yeah, so you can see, like, it should end up being as long as this t-shirt, so I have a little bit more to go. Then what I'm going to do with this, I am going to knit the neckband, block it, because it's a rib knit, so it'll spread out, it'll flatten out. What do they call that? Bloom? No. When the stitch relaxes, so the stitch will relax in the soak. And then I'm going to think about what to do with the sleeves, because I don't think I want a sleeve that is fitted all the way down. I think I'm going to do something like a little bit more open. I think what I'm going to do is knit the sleeve straight in a ribbed stitch, but straight down without doing decreases, so that it'll have a little bit of a flare opening at the end. So it'll be like maybe that big around instead of being like a cuff that sticks to you. Just because I think that would be fun to make it something a little different. This is a pattern of my own design. It's been very well tested. I think it's probably one of the best written patterns that I have. It has a beautiful set-in sleeve that works very well. It is a kind of a choose your own adventure pattern. I've written it for rib stitch, but I've had students. I'm a professor too, so I did not have students test knit this. I had other knitters test knit this. Not that a student and a knitter can't be the same, but I do not have any students that I know are knitters. No one's told me that they're a knitter. There might be, just don't know of any. Yeah, so it's a choose your own adventure. I did have one tester who knitted in stockinette stitch. I have also knitted in mostly stockinette with just a rib stitch pattern down the front. You can really do any sort of stitch you want for this pattern. The pattern also has 2 necklines, so you can do a crew neck. I tell you how to raise that crew neck or drop it if you wanted to do more of a scoop neck. I've done sleeveless versions. You can do, there's a Henley version where it's got a button placket, so that's written into the pattern too. Yeah, lots of different variations. You could color block this. You could do pretty much anything you want with it. So yeah, it's beautiful. So I am knitting this out of 100% cashmere. This was a cast on that I cast on for my birthday, and I had purchased the yarn from Qing Fibers. It's her Vera base and the colorway Heather. She doesn't have a color name on here, just a color number, but she called it Heather. It's 100% cashmere supreme fluffy yarn. It is a fingering weight. I got gauge no problem. Actually, no, scratch that. I went down a needle size to get gauge. The pattern is written for a 375. I used a 3.5. I'm on a US size 4. I'm knitting it also in a size bigger than I would normally knit one of these for myself because I want it to be a little bit looser of a fit. I want it to be a little more drapey because it's this cashmere. So here in this climate, like wearing cashmere in the evenings, especially when you're in like a humid, cool, like so beach environment is something that I do a lot. If I have I have a couple of cashmere sweaters that they're really lightweight, so it doesn't feel like you have a heavy piece on you, but they also breathe. So it's really nice for cool, beachy evenings when you just want an extra layer. You still have your shorts on, or maybe you've put on some long pants to keep the bugs from biting. Let's be honest, because I would keep shorts on if it weren't for the bugs. Putting a long sleeve cashmere can be really nice. So I'm hoping that that'll be what this piece will do for me, as well as like, you know, it's a kind of it's a year-round fabric for me here in this area. Okay, more whips. I have 2 new cast-ons that I'm going to talk to you about via film clip. So I'll have you do the first one now. So I got these gorgeous Lobby and Aimée yarns let's see, I got it in the fall, this past fall. It's a cashmere merino. This color's Pinku, this is Lush, this is Air Guitar, and this is Lobby and Aimée Yellow. These were a kit for Slipstravaganza, and I just really loved the package of colors, and I wasn't planning to make another Stravaganza necessarily, or Slipstravaganza. I just thought these are beautiful, I must have them, and I stashed them away. So it is now March, and Andrea Mowry is doing a knit along, a March to May Cal, and I cast on her stripes pattern, which you can make any way you want. I think she designed it to make a 2-color stripe or multicolored stripe. So I thought, I have 2 skeins of this, so I thought it would make a good group of yarns to make this striped pullover sweater. I have to admit though, I am stalled on it because I don't think these are colors that I'll wear. Though I love the yarns looking at them here, I don't love them so well knit together. The stripe repeat that I'm doing, because I have 5 skeins and 2 of this multicolor stripe, I'm planning to do yellow, pink, multicolor stripe, green, multicolor stripe, and then repeat yellow, pink. But I don't even think if I rearrange the order that I would like it any better. Yeah, so I'm a little stuck with this. I haven't knit anymore after I started the green stripe, just because I was like, no, if I really like this. I just don't think I'll wear it. I need to realize that I'm not knitting this for me. I'm just knitting it, and that it'll get gifted to somebody else. So yeah, that's my cast on conundrum. So yeah, here it is. Here it is. My stripes sweater. I don't know where the bin. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's the back. This is the front. Here we go. I have knit a little more than what you saw in that clip. Yeah, I'm past all the increases now. So now it's just straight knitting until I split for the sleeves. So this is still the yoke part of the sweater. I don't know. I cast this on, and the next cast on I'm going to show you, because of the Andrea Mowry May to March to May Cal. So I did one sweater. I did the Weekender Light very quickly. That was my last episode. You saw that. If you're new here, this is your first time, you might want to go watch the last episode, because I knit a sweater in 1 week, and I was pretty impressed with myself. So anyway, I got it done so quickly in the first week of March. So I thought, first week of March, maybe the second week of March. I can't remember. But I got it done very quickly. So I thought, okay, let me cast on another thing, because the Cal is going all the way to May, and I can do more Andrea Mowry sweaters. So I cast this on, and as I said, I'm not sure this is anything that I'm going to end up wearing. I don't know. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to diss it. It's kind of growing on me. But I was profoundly disappointed by the way the colors laid out. When I first saw them, I was like, not as excited about it as I was when I saw it and bought it. But anyway, okay, we'll see. I'll have more. I'll report back next time on this. I'm really am pushing myself to finish this fuzzy knit, finish the other fuzzy knit, and finish the half wrap before it gets too hot. So I would really love to have all 3 of those projects done by the beginning of June. So let's say by the end of May. But, other pretty things do distract me. I have another new cast on. I'm going to have you watch a clip where I talk about it. Okay, so I swatched for the stone crop cardigan using the Ranch 03 from Brooklyn Tweed. And yeah, so I just used a little scrap of spin cycle that I had there. It's gray colored. The next thing I was thinking about, so I have this tray of all my spin cycle yarn, because they're so beautiful. As soon as they come, I like to cake them and just like put them here, and then I have my little bits and pieces left as well. The last time I made the stone crop cardigan, I needed 1.2 skeins of spin cycle. So about a skein and a half of spin cycle. So I don't have 2 skeins of the same. I don't mind sort of putting together, patchworking together two different colors. But before I chose, I love this one, but it's too close. Before I choose, I pulled out my color wheel to just get an idea of what would go well with this color. So, and I found this right here in the red violet with added black is a good match to the ranch yarn in the colorway Pluot. This is the colorway Pluot. So yeah, okay. So you're probably following along with me now. So if that is the color, or close to it, the colors that will contrast the most are directly across the color wheel. So this yellow, green, yellow, and green, of course, will be the most contrasty. But I could probably expand it out to this grouping here. So like a blue, green, green, yellow, and yellow, orange. Okay, so I have this beautiful gold. I don't remember the colorway name, but I will, when I am beginning to knit this, I will have colorway names for you. So that is gorgeous. I love those together. And it is in that quadrant that is across. I could probably also use this, because this is a lot of what's over on this side and would contrast beautifully. But I use this for my other stone crop cardigan. So I don't know if I really just want a red version of the other one. So this could be a supporting color, because there is in the center about a little bit of green. Or there's this. So this could tease from gold to the blue-green, and this might be just enough. So that's a good second chunk there. I also have this, which has bits of the orange in it and a lot of gray, which looks awesome, as you can tell here. This is actually a little drab of this. So I could go this method. These could be the colors, and then I don't use the gold at all. I know that'll look great, but I really want to use the gold. I guess my last option in a partial skein would be to not use the red parts of this and just target those gold, orangey, I mean, this is basically that color right there in the color wheel. Yeah. I mean, I could do the same with this, just use the orange parts and not though it won't go with the gold. This is what I'm leaning towards, maybe minus this, or maybe that. That would be pretty. What would happen with these is that this would end up on the sleeves. So I think what I'll do is start it with this and then figure it out as I go. I do have this, but it's got that, you know, that red violet, deep red violet in there. I don't know if that'll work. I also have this, which would work well. I could do those two. Maybe that's maybe that's it. And then I just sort of work this in somehow. Yeah, because it looks like, so this would be color wheel wise, we're hitting the yellow green and the blue green, so we're like in here, even down to here. That would be nice. Okay. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I have knit some of this because I was a little bummed about the stripes. I went ahead and cast on this, the Ranch 3 Stone Crop. And I went with I'm using the gold as the main color, but I started out with that blue-green that I showed you in the clip, because I decided that I just did the gold. I knit in the gold part of this, and I saved some to use for the bottom of the sleeves if I need to, towards the bottom of the sleeves. So this is what you're seeing is like all of that blue-green, that color cataclysm. And then there's a couple rows of the beautiful gold. And this has also some blue-green in there, you can see it. The gold is called Summer Love. The blue-green is Cataclysm. And then I have that other blue and yellow, paler yellow skein that I'm going to use if I need it. With this sweater too, I am making one size bigger than what I made last time, because the pattern is written for 0, is it -2 to +2 or 0 inches of ease? I think she basically recommends that you go aim for 0 inches of ease. So that's what I knit. I think it has 1 inch of ease in it. So I was really right in with the recommendation, and I decided I wanted this one to be a little looser. I do like that sweater a lot. My other stone crop, I like it a lot. But I decided that maybe this one should be slightly looser. So I'm knitting one size bigger. Yeah, and this is the ranch. What else can I tell you? Summer Love. My Summer Love is an ish tint, which means it's something that Spin Cycle does when they don't get the skeins just right in terms of the color layout. They call them ish tints, so it's Summer Love ish. And Starlight Knitting Society is the only vendor or the only store that I think you can buy them in. So I bought these from Starlight Knitting Society last summer. Just they did every so often, if you sign up, if you're interested in those ish tints, they're the same price as the other ones. They're all really unique though. They in the newsletter they'll tell you when they have a batch, and then you can also see the batches, and they lay them all out in the newsletter, and then you can also look at them on their website. But those sales for the ish tints through Starlight Knitting Society, just like when you buy Spin Cycle yarns direct from Spin Cycle, they can get a little harried. Like you can lose what you want, what your first choice pretty quickly if you're not, quick with the clicking through. So it's good to preview. And I just got a couple random skeins because, as I said, as you saw in the clip, I just every once in a while I'm so inspired to just buy some, so I pick some up and cake them and then just have them out on display. Yeah, the ranch is really nice, the ranch yarn that I'm knitting with. I don't think I have the ball band here, but it is Brooklyn Tweed's newest breed specific yarn, and actually farm specific yarn too. So it's 100% merino from a specific farm in Colorado, and it's all not really a sheep to skein operation, but Brooklyn Tweed bought the wool from the farmer and got it spun and scoured and everything all here in the US. The one thing I'll say about it is that it kind of has like a insect repellent smell, like kind of a chemically smell that I'm sure will wash out or air out. I mean, it seems like the skeins aren't as smelly as they were when I first got them. And they are all caked and ready to be knit. Yeah, so when Brooklyn Tweed just released this Ranch 3, many stores have recently gotten their shipments. So if you're interested in knitting with it or learning more about it, it is a really nice worsted spun yarn, which means it gives really good stitch definition. So I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. It has kind of a little shine to it, which you often get with worsted. Lots of hairs. Sorry about that, but there you go. You get you can see the crisp stitch definition of this yarn. So yeah, I am loving this. This has been a fun knit, other than the odor, which is, I guess I'm kind of getting used to. It's nice. I have a feeling when I wash it, a lot of that odor, when I block it, a lot of that odor will go away. So yeah, these two Andrea Mowry, hopefully I guess I'm hoping that I have everything done by the end of May. The two Andrea Mowry sweaters for that cal, and then these fuzzy knits, just because who wants to knit fuzzy yarn in the summertime? the beautiful yarn that I made. So pretty. This is Green Goat Ranch fiber. Did I say? I don't think I said that in the clip. I think you just saw. You didn't hear anything. Yeah. So Green Goat Ranch fiber, little batlings she called them. It has a significant amount of mohair in it. It is primarily wool. There is some mohair in it. There's some silk. There's a little nylon, and there's some stellina, some sparkle, which you can get little hints of there, here and there in it. It's fingering weight. I just did a straight 2-ply. It was fun. It was a fun spin. Fun to watch it come together. And I spun something else. I spun this beautiful 2-ply. It's a little bit more lofty of a spin. This is 100% Cheviot, superwash Cheviot from Into the World. And it is the December club color called Krampus. Yeah, there you go. I spun this in a fractal spin, so the it was combed top, commercial combed top, which she had painted, and so I divided it in 2 for one strand, and the other strand I divided it into 4. And what will happen, it will be, when I cake it, it will look very much like the Spin Cycle yarns do, where they kind of separate by color. So it'll do that. It'll have that sort of look to it, where you get these bands of color. So it's a color changing yarn. And it's funny, this is her Christmas color, because it's very autumnal. It actually could be like a Rhinebeck color. So yeah, I don't have any plans for it. These 2 spins were just spins that I just wanted to make something without, unplanned. Just wanted to spin. I felt like spinning without having to think too hard about, without having a purpose or goal in mind necessarily. So yeah, those are what those are. That's his spinning. Oh, and I ended up making a little mini skein too. This is like 40 yards or so. It's actually 2 bits of yarn that I ended up having to, I don't remember why I ended up with mini skeins. I had a little bit of extra singles that I just ended up plying. So they're not as color changing as the mains, but I figured I could use this for swatching or something. But yeah, cute, right? Okay, self-care. So I've been doing, if you've watched the last few episodes, I've been doing all the treatments that I do on my face. This is the last one, and after this I'll be talking about other different self-care and that won't be in a sequential fashion. It'll just be, these are some things that I do, or this is a new product I found, or things like that. So this last one is face cream. This is the last step in my face treatment routine. I have been using this cream for a long, long time, this Immudern, for about 3 years. It has these betas in it. It is a Norway company that makes it. You can purchase this pretty easily in most, I don't know if it's in like Walgreens or other pharmacies necessarily. I think some have them, some of the ones that are a little bit more skincare focused, but you can also get it on Amazon, and I think you can get it from Dermastore. So yeah, I use this quite a lot. It's a massive tube. It's 6 ounces, and yeah, lasts a long time. 1 tube lasts a long time. It's not overly expensive either. I like very simple creams. Like, this was originally introduced to me by a friend who loves it and swears by it. But I'm kind kind of wishy-washy on creams. The only things, I have two rules with my face creams. One is that there's no SPF in it, and two is that it has no retin-A or retinol products in it, because I'm using that other really strong retin-A cream. So I also, because that's running out, I picked up this tube from a Korean company. It's called Made Sarah Cream, and it's, you know, it's made for aging or mature skin, and it's, you know, it's meant to revitalize. It says it hydrates, nourishes, brightens skin, and reduces the appearance of fine lines, like so many of these things do. I have no idea what the ingredients are in here though, because it's all in Korean. But it looked good. It feels good. It absorbs really well. Both of these do. I do also use a Kyle product cream. I have one here, but this is not one that I use. It's one that I actually stopped using because it's got both retin-A and SPF in it, and I don't want either one of those in my face cream. We can talk a little bit about SPF cream and why I don't like it in my face cream. I don't like it in my face cream because it's in my makeup, it's in my foundation, and also I live in the Northeast where we're all starved for sun most of the year. So everyone I know takes vitamin D because we don't get enough sun. So I really try to use SPF sparingly in the winter time. So I don't really want extra SPF in my face cream when it's also in my makeup, and if I'm going outside for, you know, to work or whatever, I have makeup on that has some sunscreen in it. So too much, all those layering of sunscreen really irritates my skin and makes me break out. So I just reduce that. And also I need some sun to get through. I don't want sun damage, of course, but I need some of that vitamin D. In the summertime, or if I know I'm going to be out for any length of time, like more than 15 minutes or so, I will put on sunscreen, like just a cream that's sunscreen. Or especially if I know I'm not, like if I'm going to the beach or I'm going to be in the outdoors working out, hiking, running, something like that, I will definitely make sure I'm covered with sunscreen. So yeah, so I don't know, what do you do? What products do you like? What face creams do you like? And what do you, so anything you want to share below about that would be fun. Next time I'm going to talk about this situation here, because you may have noticed, and this is for about the last year or so, I have nail polish only on this finger, and it is a self-care reason. It's not for any other, I'm not trying to make a statement or anything. It's just this. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me and knitting with me or crafting while I chatter away about my works. Maybe you found something inspirational and useful or helpful. If you did and you liked what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. It would be wonderful to see you again sometime, and you can keep up with me. It'll be nice to stay in touch and chat with each other. So I will see you soon, and I hope you have a wonderful next couple weeks, and I hope that you are staying healthy and safe, and that your loved ones are healthy and safe as well. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.